Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth Ward and this is
Hillary Wright.
And we are the authors of the Menopause Diet Plan, in case you don't already know that. And today we just wanted to jump on and talk about exercise because, a lot of women kind of beat themselves up because they think that they're not getting enough and they don't know what type they should get. So what is the recommendation for exercise every day?
So the recommendation for exercise is 30 minutes of physical activity most days of the week for just the cardio stuff, right?
Right.
And then ideally we would get, 2 or 3 episodes of some sort of strengthening sort of exercise in the course of a week. And now I believe the American College of Sports Medicine wants to make sure we pay attention to stretching and balance, which is really important as we get older because it can help prevent falls.
Yes, and we don't want to fall because then we hurt ourselves and then we're sidelined and
all kinds of broken stuff.
We hate that. So, what about exercise and weight control though? What do we want women to know about that?
So what we want women to know is that the studies tell us that food by far is so much more important because
in terms of weight control,
because it's not that exercise is not important, it's just that the research is very mixed and really doesn't strongly reassure us that exercise is a solution to weight concerns. And I know that sounds confusing because exercise is important for maintaining our muscles and helping us not fall if we trip and helping us regulate our blood sugar, but it's well known that exercise makes people hungry. And so if you work out hard and then as a result you eat afterwards hard, either because you're starving or you've kind of subliminally made up in your mind, oh, I can eat this thing because I just worked out hard, that's probably what really clouds a lot of the research on the influence of exercise on weight control.
That reminds me of a funny story. When I was in my 20s, I exercised a lot, and I also, true confession, used exercise to control my weight, but that's a long time ago, and I think you could almost do that when you're younger. But anyway, long story short, I was running like 4 or 5 times a week, not a lot, maybe 4 or 5 miles, and going to a couple of other weight training classes. And, I would go to work in the Back Bay of Boston, and I would go get a muffin from DeLuca's.
Ooh.
Oh, do you know the kind of muffin I'm talking about?
If it's like a bakery kind of muffin, it was probably as big as your head and as delicious as could be.
The top was this big, like literally. And I just ate the top. Well, it was this big and about that high. Well, sometimes I ate the whole thing. Then we went to a professional meeting, and they were talking about how hard it is to judge the calories in baked goods. And they pulled out this muffin from DeLuca, and they put it on the scale. And they said, well, give yourself like 150 calories per ounce of this muffin. It weighed 9 ounces. Okay? So that's what I was eating.
That's a lot of running.
So this is a perfect, example of thinking that your exercise is perfectly balanced with your eating. And, we know that you probably can't control your weight as easily without, regular physical activity. But women tend to eat their calories back, especially if they are doing high intensity exercise.
Yeah.
And that justification, it's like, well, I ran 5 miles today. Well, I can have, 2 cocktails, bowl of chips, salsa, and I can just go to town. Well, you can't. You didn't run a marathon.
Right.
You ran. So anyway, we want you to exercise. We do. We exercise a lot. We exercise a lot.
Mostly to hold on to the gun show. Because this burns calories.
I didn't realize you had a gun show, but okay.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
It's very, very important to do resistance training. I think that's also something that as we get older, we want to hold on to the muscle that we have and build more muscle to stay strong, but also to actually rev up our metabolism. So what do we want to say in summary?
So we're not saying that exercise is not an important part of daily life, because it is.
Right.
We're not saying it doesn't, burn calories, because it does, but there is a natural tendency to compensate for that. So if people rely too heavily on exercise and don't pay enough attention to what they're eating, they can get, this into this resentful place where they're like, I'm going to the gym, 5 days a week. And that's a whole nother story, like going and doing the same thing over and over
That's
again is
another
probably not
topic.
going to help.
Yeah.
Trying to change things up, maybe useful. It's absolutely, I think, essential for stress management
Yes.
in modern life. And a lot of women are stress eaters.
In our lives.
What we're just saying is that
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to eat calories than to burn them.
Uh-huh.
And so just be realistic. Look at exercise as something that you do for so many aspects of health, but not necessarily the thing that is going to make or break what happens with your weight. Because the food part is the harder piece to manage for a lot of people, but is the more important piece when it comes to weight management.
Perfect way to end. And tune in for other riveting topics coming soon.
That might pop into our head. And
Bye.